Chapter 11 Touching a Fish Jincha, Big Bang Beijing Official Assessment System. 3 years a check, with 4 grade, 8 method as the lifting standard. Unqualified officials are demoted or even cut to serve the people. It's a matter of career, which makes sense. The other side has a distant relative to the matter. Back to impeachment. Changgou County has a backlog of deaths, which can be a reason for political opponents to attack. How did he die? Suu Kyi asked carelessly. I went to the countryside to collect rent. When I came back at midnight, I met a gentleman in the inner courtyard of my own house, touted a colleague witnesses. Suu Kyi and wrote, when my wife heard the noise and went out to check, he was already dead in the courtyard. But we found footprints on the outside wall. Is it possible that the enemy disguised himself as a burglar? Suu Kyi and poured himself a cup of tea and took a few candied fruit from his colleagues and threw it into the cup. He sounded like he was discussing a murder with a colleague at a police station. V asked my wife, children, servants and neighbors. The deceased has not had any enemies recently, did the watchman ask. The Imperial Sword Guard said there were no suspicious people in the vicinity that night. The capital has 3 walls. The palace city, the inner city and the outer city. Although there were night guards in the outer city, there was no curfew, and the city gates were closed all night at 12 o'clock. Merchants were free to enter the city gates, as long as they prepared their reports in advance, and took their books with them. This system easily improved commercial trade and economic development in the capital. Suu Kyi nodded. So, if it is the thief, it should be familiar with Camping Street, that piece. Why do you think so? The Yamen will stand for a moment. The thief can enter and leave the house at night without being discovered by the patrolling soldiers, which shows that he has stepped on the spot and knows well the patrolling rules of the Imperial Sword Guard. Suu Kyi and side analysis. Side instinct to pocket smoke. Feeling empty. I remember when I was in the police department, we used to sit together in 2s and 3s, smoking cigarettes and discussing cases. As a result, he became addicted to smoking. Several colleagues were taken aback and looked at Suu Kyi. Quite right, we didn't think of that one. After being in prison for a long time, people become clever these days. There are no systematic courses of instruction, and the best can be the head of the police. You didn't think of it, but Mr. Wang must have thought of it. Have you checked the west side of the city? Suu Kyi and low-key, not to show off, colleague replied. Asked for 2 days. Did not identify the suspect. In the west of the city is the slum, full of thieving people. When there is a problem of public security, the Yamen will take the servants with them and run there to catch them. How much silver was lost? Sue 7 and subliminal reasoning in the mind. Asked one of his colleagues, took a look at Suu Kyi, and felt that his tone was a bit like that of the magistrate. He replied, no, the deceased just came back from rent collection, and what he received was broken silver, copper coins and rice. How could the thief escape with a big box of money after killing people? No, Suu Kyi squinted. If I was a thief, and stepped on the point, then I will choose to steal the next day, rather than today. He did not say this out. High Melon Seed continued to listen to his colleagues. It is a pity that such a beautiful woman should be widowed at such a young age. That body, that chest, tisk. There is no such fine woman in the bar. I would do it for a penny or 2 a night. I'm not young, either, but I'm 20 years different from that Zhang. I think he's in his early 30s. A woman of that age is the last to be widowed. Here. Suu Kyi feeling sad. 30 years old woman good. More understand the bad style. Taste unlimited. Some old word, but did not get the recognition of colleagues. They looked at him, laughing and joking. You even do not go to the bar of a chicken. No of art. To walk the way of martial arts. Do not break through the key environment. Cannot break. Yuan Yang once out. It will be difficult to open the gate of heaven. Therefore, Suu Kyi has been holding a fixed C for 19 years, and has not yet succumbed to the female goblin. The back hall, where the magistrate lives, the skin is dark, just like the ridge of the old farmer. Wang Catch had low head, listless listening to the magistrates scold. County Magistrate surnamed Zhu, rich white fat, Yanzhou people, Yanjing 20 years of the three Ajinshi, good at the drill, not good at official business, is a lack of business ability. But very understand the way of the official scholar. The advantage is that there is a conscience. Small greed is not greedy, incompetent, but not disturbing. The public disadvantage is to treat subordinates bad temper, easy to spit fragrance. Impotence. What impotence, knowing that the king was still no harvest yesterday. The magistrate was angry. You're a seasoned veteran. A murder, and you've had no clue. for days. Sweat poured out from Wang's forehead and stung his back. Jingcha is approaching. Zhu County Magistrate, more angry. Li Dianshi dare not interrupt. Although he and Wang Katu is more than 10 years of old friendship, as Li Dianshi knew, the magistrate always wanted to be promoted again. Promotion required two conditions, support and the political achievements. No record, only backers, impeachable, unstable position with political achievements and backers. We can rise smoothly and steadily. Where does achievement come from? Jingcha is an important assessment standard. After a quarter of an hour, the magistrate looked back, picked up the teacup and took a sip. Official rules. Serve tea. Seeing this, Li Dai history pulled down the head of the king of silence. Two people in distress to leave. Wang had ugly face back to the rest room. Messy room suddenly quiet down. We carefully looked at Wang. Head chief, did Magistrate Zhu scold you again? The king rolled his eyes, grabbed a cup of tea and took a sip. Damn it, he said, if you're dead, where are you going to find it? It's been a bad day, and I've lost a penny. You dropped the money. Suki and shrank his neck and drank tea to hide his guilt. Silver is obviously not for you. After listening to the king's complaints, a small fast catch gave him a bad idea, or touch a fish. Su Qian frowned and jumped. Touch fish, the bottom officialdom in the professional term, meaning find someone to fall for. Limited by technology and equipment. Most cases in ancient times were unsolved, with a very low detection rate. Sometimes officials get paid for their achievements, pressure from superiors and other reasons. In order to transfer, we'll find a scapegoat to replace. In the process, local officials would select a group of delinquents, write their names on a piece of paper, fold them, and then touch them. Whoever we touch is the fall guy. That's why it's called fishing. After the unlucky man was locked up, the officials went to lock him up and brought back to the Yemen a set of assembly line called recruitment by beatings. Even the toughest people were recruited. The superior is satisfied. The officials in the middle have been appreciated. The officials have been rewarded. And your good scapegoat is not wrong. Anyway, is a rotten person. Early to send him reincarnation, but also for the well-being of the people around. There are many more such manipulations in officialdom. Wang bowed his head and said, this is the only way to go. Xiao Li, you should handle this matter and choose some of the older ones. Xiao Li was about to nod, but Su Qi and frowned and said, wait, there's a lot of doubt in this case. Chief, it's not like we're lost. Su Qi and denied this doctrine. Although he has not been a police officer for many years, the three values established then are still alive. Though he was a criminal, he did not deserve to die. Even if you deserve to die, it's one size fits all. If they replace you here, you're gonna get a lot of money for nothing. Wang looked at him sulkily without saying a word. The crowd urged, better feast. You don't bother. The chief can't help being scolded every day. Besides, he's just a criminal. The better connected said. Chief, you must be a little sensitive about such things. After a terrible disaster in the Nishi family, the king turned a deaf ear and stared at Su Qi. And he was not happy and kept a calm face. You tell me how to check. Give me the files. Su Qian was straightforward.